If you're prepared, you'll do fine. If you're not prepared, you're not going to do fine. So if you're dating somebody who you think is special, be ready for what you're getting into because it's only one time to make that good first impression. Even though my mother said that, it's still true.
Did you push record?
Thanks again for tuning into Our Second Act with Paige and Silka. We continue our series on love and relationships with Robert Manni. Robert, thanks so much for staying over again.
My pleasure. I'm here for you and here for the ladies and the guys.
Absolutely. Well, we will link to our past segments where we, discussed, well, one, your background, and two, some specific dating stuff for both men and women at this time in life. And you just brought up something interesting off camera, and that is where people get stuck. You prepare yourself for this, you get up mentally, you're ready, you took yourself online, now you're on that first date, and
right. Well, you figure after that coffee or drink date, then you don't want it to go too far. And I get asked sometimes, what do you think about sex on the first date? Whatever two adults want to do, but there's going to be a price to pay one way or the other if you do it or you don't. To me, first date, 10th date, it doesn't matter as long as both people are ready. And I think some relationships can happen even if you have sex on the first date. That's up to you. Everybody's got to do their own thing. But typically, after a short date, you kind of realize, you take stock in, did I have a good time? Do I want to see her again? Did she have a good time? Does she want to see me again? I think what a guy should do is pick up the check for the first date, no matter what it is, pick it up, make sure that she has transportation home, and then if you're interested, hopefully, send her a text. But I would wait, and hopefully she's going to send you a thank you text first, because if you picked up the date, if you arrange things, and then if there is the chemistry there and you want to do something for real, well, now you know a little bit more about her. Why don't you suggest a date based on what she's told you? So if she has a place she hasn't been, or type of food she likes, or some type of activity she wants to do, suggest that. Then she'll realize, hey, he's paying attention. After that date, if that works out, then a lot of times it's like, okay, where are we going now? So you have to decide, do I want to date other people? Is she dating other people? You don't want to start questioning each other on that. I think what you have to do is just trust your gut and say, I want to see her again. I don't have to wait 3 days. I don't have to surprise her and ask her on Friday for a Saturday night date, put her under the gun like that. I think you should just be a gentleman and say, hey, I had a great time. Let's do it again. Sometime during the week, and the woman should make sure she's giving the signals, because guys aren't great at reading signals. That says, okay, I'm interested, but you gotta carry the ball here for a while.
That's funny that you bring that up. I was going to ask you about that. The whole I don't want to wait 3 days to call. That's such a juvenile thing. Yet lots of us who come back on the dating scene after 25 years, like me, I was married 25 years, you kind of go back to where you were, and you bring that high schooler, young person mentality to now in your 50s or 60s. Mm-hmm. And it is silly. It is kind of silly. And then the do you sleep on the foot? Well, I mean, that's still different for men and women. I mean, don't men kind of look down on you if you hop in the sack up on the first date?
Well, they're going to have some questions like, am I the first guy that she hopped in the sack on the first date? Or am I that great that she just decided to hop in the sack with me? You know what? I always leave that up to the individuals. Every situation is different. I'm not going to preach like no sex on the first date, but it's probably not the best thing for your relationship. The odds are probably stacked a little bit against you if you have sex on the first date, but you might have some good sex. And if there's no relationship anyhow, well, if you both had a good time, you can say, hey, that was great. But it should be about expectations. You don't want to be taking advantage of people and taking advantage of people's feelings, because particularly with women, that they're opening themselves up to, there's an intimate act where guys, I think, still are more compartmentalized about sex, and where it's like, I can just have sex, it doesn't matter. I'm a little bit different. I have to have a connection. Mm-hmm. There has to be a connection there, or it's not. unless the woman is just unbelievably stunning. But how many times have you met somebody that they're beautiful, and then you talk to them and you're like, they're not really a beautiful person, but they're physically beautiful.
Right. No,
So
and I would, since we're talking, well, we're talking to both in this segment, but that, yeah, a woman does, there is a connection if she's going to jump in bed with you. It's not like a man. Yeah.
it's
So,
an energetic thing between two people. You are going to be connected, and you want it to be a good thing. You want it to be. I want to think back and say every woman that I went to bed with, I have a very good feeling, a very good connection, even if it didn't work out. We're human beings, and we shared that intimacy, and at the time it was pleasurable. Hopefully, that make it find the positives, because dating should be a fun sport. It should be, there should be romance. There should be mystery. Just get over yourself a little bit.
yeah. Well, the other thing on the first date that, and we talked about this recently on a show, is, you know, we come with apprehension. I don't care how confident we are. A first date, there's always some apprehension, and for some, there's extreme apprehension, or you're nervous, and then you end up saying stupid stuff, and maybe just admitting that. Just go, hey, you know what? If you like, I think I brought up on a show and somebody else that, just kind of admit, this dating stuff is just kind of, if you see me a little nervous, it's just, I am nervous about it. And one of the comments that we got actually from a man was, women do not want weak men like that, and that's not true. There's nothing like some guy opening himself up and showing some emotion or some vulnerability to all of a sudden.
It's a fine line, because it's a fine line. If as a guy, I would say, if I'm interested, I'm going to be a little nervous, but I'm going to work my way through it. I think that's the key. Just keep going and deal with the nervousness. It's like making a speech in front of a crowd. If you're prepared, you'll do fine. If you're not prepared, you're not going to do fine. So if you're dating somebody who you think is special, be ready for what you're getting into, because it's only one time to make that good first impression. Even though my mother said that, it's still true.
All right, well, continue. Now we're on the first date. Now, from a man's perspective again, where do you jump off?
Well, it's the real date. I think you have to play it by ear. I think, again, you pick up the check for the first real date. The money thing works its way out over time. If you date somebody and you go out like 7 times and the woman never buys you a drink or anything, that would bother me, because nowadays, I know men are still making more money dollar per dollar, but everybody's got to contribute something to show that, this is a partnership. It's not just your, whining and dining me. So I think after the date, again, be a gentleman. Play it by ear. She invites you back to her place. That's a good thing. If she doesn't, then she doesn't. But be a gentleman. And if you're interested, say, I'd like to see you again. And if she seems like not over the moon about that, then just wait a little bit, ask her out, and see what happens. And if she says yes, then you got another shot at it. And if she says, yeah, I'm not feeling the sparkles, then be glad that you're not going to waste any more time and get it. You just got to not take it personally, because ultimately nobody wants to be with somebody who really doesn't want to be with them.
Right.
If you ask yourself that question.
No, I agree. It's more, it does hurt, especially if you're wanting to go on a second date,
right.
But it's a blessing ultimately that you don't waste your time.
Yeah. One last point, if I may, Silka, is that speaking with so many relationship coaches who are female, I noticed that to a person, they say the biggest challenge they have working with women who are getting back into dating or who are dating is that they have to dial down the kind of type A aggressiveness that they need to compete in today's business world. When they go on the date, it's hard for them to pull back. And I think women need to work on that a little bit, and guys need to be aware that, let's say she says she likes Spanish food and you come up with a restaurant and she's like, I've been there. There's this other place. Well, there's 2 ways to take it. One, she's not even, I'm trying to take charge here and come up with a plan, but she's already usurped the power. Or you could say, hey, whatever. She wants to go there. She hasn't been there. I want to try that. So, you have to be flexible. And if you're a guy, if over time, you got to hope that she'll relax. And she'll, women to a person, they want men to be men in the best sense of the word. So she will allow you to be the man if you show you're a man right from the beginning. And better than that, show that you're a guy's guy.
Yeah. No, and I love that. It's funny, you reminded me of something when it was one of the early dates I was on, and I could never imagine saying what your example right now, that I was, oh no, I want to go somewhere else. I could never see myself doing that. I'm very accommodating. But I did draw the line when we went to a Chinese restaurant, or no, we were going to do Chinese takeout and then go like to an outdoor concert or something, and he only gave me two choices on the menu to choose from.
Oh, why? Why?
I don't know. That's what I said. Anyway, that was it.
Appetizers only tonight?
Oh gosh, no, that's you brought us some great points, Robert. Thank you. I think we have a good series of conversations here. Just
Right.
for those that are getting back out there, what some considerations are, especially from the male-female perspective. I will link to all of Robert's information, his book, and we'll look forward to having you back for hopefully a lot more talk on man, women, and relationships. So, anything else you want to add before we sign off?
Just, love yourself, be yourself, and, you got to be in it to win it.
Sounds great. Robert, we'll see you next time on Our Second Act with Paige and
Thank you.
Silka. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Thanks for joining us. If you haven't already done so, please be sure to subscribe to our channel. Button's right over here. Just click right on through to YouTube. And when you see that little bell next to the subscribe button, hit that too. You'll be notified every time a new video is released. See you next time.